Today our experts are going to test their expertise by trying to recreate some of snooker's classic shots. They will then score each other from 1 to 10, which will give us a winner. The first shot is the Rocket's treble. Our first player on the bays is the 1979 UK champion, John Virgo.
Okay. I don't think he played this. I think it was a fluke, but I'm going to try it.
So he's got it all over. Oh, he's got it. Oh, he's got it on there. Oh, he got it.
And kiss the brown.
That's good, that's good.
Okay, gentlemen, scores please.
Well, that had everything, John. That was superb. Other than knocking it in, that did everything. It kissed the brown, you were so close to the shot, you got down, you committed fully, and I think that's a 9.
Thank you, sir.
I'm going to give you 7. That was as close as I think we're going to get. That was good.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'm going to give you, after 25 takes, I think you deserve a 7.
And I'm also going to go 7.
Well, what can I say, Michaela, you see? You never lose it.
Our second attempt will be by none other than 6-time world champion Steve Davis.
Go on, Stevie.
Go on, Stevie.
Thank you. It's a tough act to follow, John.
Just think fluke.
And that's what Ronnie was trying to do.
I agree.
Right, Neil, kick us off.
Not to be mistaken for a 9, 6. Good effort.
Thank you, thank you.
Good effort. It should have been a treble, but it was a double, so we'll give you a 5.
And I'm going to give the great man a 6 because he pulled the double off. That's what Ronnie was trying, and he pulled it off.
I agree. Ronnie wasn't trying the treble. He was going for the double. And Steve did what Ronnie wanted to do, so I'll go 6 as well.
Next up is former world number 3, Neil Folds.
Go on, Neil.
Go on, Neil.
Come on, nearly done.
I fancy Neil to get very close to this.
Yeah,
To the cue ball.
Yeah, look at that.
he looks exactly the same as he did.
Didn't even get the double.
Right, Ken?
Well, it was almost like a copycat of Steve Davis, but he didn't get the double, so it's 1 less than what Steve got. It's a 4. Sorry, Neil.
It's all right. It's all right. Well, I'm going to be very generous and give Neil a 6. He got nowhere near the treble, and somehow he managed to cannon the yellow. Yeah. Never seen that done before.
Well, I'm going to give Neil 5. And I don't know why.
I'm going to give Neil 5 because the most important part about this is not playing it too thin. You've got to actually get quite close to that middle pocket. And Neil pushed the boat out a bit, and he went a bit too far. Sorry, I'm not boring you, am I? He did go the other side of the middle, that's why I'm giving him a 5.
Oh, is he finished?
Yeah.
Today, our experts are going to test their ability by trying to recreate some of snooker's classic shots from years gone by. They're going to score each other, which will result in a leaderboard. This next shot is Higgins' Brown Magic. And our first expert to try and recreate it, Mr. John Virgo.
I personally would have played safe.
John, I don't hold out much hope for this lot, but Steve?
Well, it's difficult after a first good effort. The two parts to this, you've got to get quite close to the pocket, but you're also going to control the white ball as well. And in neither part did you do very well, so unfortunately it's a 1.
It's very harsh, this. Very harsh.
3. I thought the double was in the bottom pocket. He was closer to the middle.
Yeah. I'm giving you a 0, but I am being a little bit generous. There is a plus at the top of it
Is
because
this a crop circle?
You can't even say it.
My only hope is Dennis.
You played it in the middle pocket, but it was never going to go in at that speed.
I can't complain.
Back on is 6 times world champion Steve Davis.
Well, I can't complain.
Neil?
Very close. Garden Gate, number 8.
But considering that's the closest you've probably been to a pot for quite a long time, so I'm going to give you an 8 as well.
Thank you.
He also gets an 8 from me simply because he almost potted the brown, but he kept the white near the cushion. That's a lot of skill to keep the white there, I'll tell you.
Well, let me tell you, the brown didn't go in, and that was the only key to the shot, so I'm only going to give him 7!
Well, I've got to be pleased with that. I mean, just across the board, that's pretty consistent, and that's hopefully what I want to be for the whole of the tournament.
Oh, that we've
So
seen
Neil
it.
Foles, former world number 3. Give it your best.
Okay.
He's telling the balls where to go.
Oh, no, too hard, too hard. Oh, if the pink had... Oh, no! I'm away!
Good attempt, Neil. But Ken?
Well, I thought it was a very good attempt at the double and the treble, so because of that, I'm going to give Neil a 7.
Generous.
It nearly turned out to be one of JV's trick shots, you know, but he would have got the treble if the pink hadn't him in there, but no, I'm only going to give you 3, Neil, sorry, because you didn't get near the pot.
Well, the idea of the shot was the brown goes in, and if it doesn't go in, you leave it safe. Look where the brown finished. Sorry, Neil, I can only give you 4.
The most important part was how softly John Higgins played the shot, and he kept that brown at the top of the table, very soft, slightly harder, and the brown came back down the table, so a 3.
What about knocking the pink out and leaving the other guy to game?
That's not good.
That's too high, that mark.
I know it's too high.
The darling of Dublin, Ken Doherty.
Oh! Good effort.
Yeah, good effort.
The cue ball.
Good effort.
A vast improvement on one of his previous shots, let me tell you. Dennis, kick us off.
That was close. I thought if anyone can, Ken can, and Ken nearly pulled it off there and missed it by a fraction. Great effort. 8 from me.
And I'm going to go 8 to say, because if anyone can, Ken can.
He was only a fraction out with the double, only a fraction out with where the cue ball finished, so take a point off for each of those. We've got an 8, Ken.
Yeah, you couldn't, Ken, but in running, it was pretty close, mate.
Look at this, look, you know what I mean?
7.
I mean,
No, I think 7's right.
No, 7's right.
Even it all up.
I'm not changing it.
He remembers.
Look at the white.
Hold on.
Over to our panel of experts. Mr. Virgo?
Well, I thought it was a control double, but it didn't go in. He overhit it slightly. The cue ball's not too bad, but I can only give it 7.
I'm being ultra critical with this 6, Dennis, because the brown was, in the scheme of things, was quite a long way away from the pocket. But other than that, it was still a great effort.
Don't get confused. It's 6. Build your hopes up, Dennis.
6 is fine, yeah.
As Steve said, more closer to the middle pocket, and if you had blown a bit, it might have gone in. But I'm going to give you a 5.
Standout performances there from Steve and Ken, both gaining 31 points, while JV trails in last, making a disappointing 7. So overall, Dennis consolidates his lead with 57 points, 3 ahead of Steve, JV in last place. Today our experts are going to be tested with their expertise by trying to create some of snooker's classic shots. They will then be scored out of 10, which will result in a winner. Our next shot is Jimmy White's amazing ping.
Well done, Jimmy.
Oh, hello. Oh,
Had a bit of time was on.
Mr. Davis, start us off.
John did most things right. The only thing was he wouldn't have been happy where the black-white ball finished up. It was a tricky one. So I think it's a very good effort. 7.
Thank you, Steve.
7 for me. It didn't bring the house down, but it was effective.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait for this one. Go on, Ken.
actually, I've been very generous, John. I thought it was a very good effort by your standards, and I'm going to give you, an 8.
Thank you. He thought the 8 was upside down.
I'm going to give JV 7 because he got the main part of the shot. He potted the pink. Always pot the ball. And he got the stuff on it. Not quite enough stuff, JV, but enough to get 7.
I think they should go back to Strictly Come Dancing, don't you?
Oh, look at this.
No.
That's not bad effort.
Yeah. Another black ball game loss.
Over to our panel, Mr. Foltz.
Got a shot on the black in the middle, Steve. No, not too bad.
Thank you. I'm pleased with that.
Yes, good pot on the pink, but you tried to cheat. You tried to come off 1 cushion instead of 2, so you're only getting the 6 for that.
I'm going to give him 7 because he got so much banana on that. I think we're going to call him Steve Banana Davis.
I thought the idea was to banana and hit 2 cushions, Ken. Ken's right. I'll go 6.
Well, I've got to say that I'm delighted with those because I think, not even hitting the second cushion, I was expecting 2s and 3s. But I mean, thanks, lads. You know where you're
It can be arranged.
Look at this. Hello. Oh,
Too much on. Not that great,
That was excellent.
Scores in the doors, please.
well, I thought Neil played that with a lot of great style. Hairstyle, probably. But it's a bit similar to John's, and I'm going to give him an 8. So.
Lovely. Thank you.
And I'm going to give Neil a 7. You were right, Ken. It was more or less the identical shot that JV played.
The only thing I would say, the idea when we saw Jimmy's shot, it was a sort of banana shape. That to me was a bit more rhubarb. So I'm only going to give it 7.
I think that was exactly the same. I think if you actually followed that on a tracer line, that was exactly the same line as yours, John. I think I gave that a 7, so it's a 7 again, Neil.
Oh, well, thank you.
So rhubarb for me and you, John.
Rhubarb.
It's good.
Yeah, there's a bit of banana there.
Well, you know,
There's a bit of banana there.
there's a bit of banana.
There was a little bit of banana.
Dennis.
That was a great effort from the Darling of Dublin. I'm going to give him 8 for that effort.
Why do I keep thinking I'm sat next to Hughie Green? If you can't spell dodgy, just put snooker player, we'll know exactly who you mean. I'll give him 8 as well.
Oh, thank you.
I've got nothing to add to what Dennis said. An 8, Ken.
It was good. It was not quite right. The second cushion, there was no check.
There, he's worse than Willie Thorne. I'm surprised you're not saying that was careless.
Make certain of the pink.
Yeah.
Yeah, never in doubt.
Oh. Now he's trying to do a Steve Davis. Look.
Good shot, though, wasn't it? Good
Excellent.
position.
Oh,
If he'd
yeah.
have played it.
There's a few oohs and ahs coming there. John?
Well, I think the idea of the banana was to hit 2 cushions. Never looked like hitting 2 cushions, so I'm sorry, Dennis, I'll only give you the middle of the road 5.
I think personally, Dennis, that replicated my shot. I think you gave me a 6 for that. So I would have given myself a 3. So I would give you a 3, other than you gave me a 6, and I don't want to upset you for later in the competition.
Right, yeah.
I think it'd been a great shot if he'd have played it that way.
Oh,
But he didn't.
Dennis, apart from hitting me with the butt of the cue in the eye on your backswing, it was a good effort. Well, I'm sorry, I'm going to give you a paltry 3.
Must have been a great effort. A pot of the pink and got perfectly on the black, and he gives me 3. The Darling in Dublin, I don't think so.
Pretty consistent scoring from all the boys there, although a little lacking in the Q-Power department. Only Dennis lagged behind. His 20 there hands the lead to the Nugget, but only 3 points separate the top 3. Neil is now in last, 13 points behind Steve.
We're back with our panel of experts again, trying to pit their expertise against each other by recreating some snooker classic shots from the past. Leading our pack at the moment is our 6-times world champion, Mr. Steve Davis. And in wooden spoon position is Mr. Neil Foltz, but there's not a lot in it. Our next shot is Henry's Knuckle Duster.
76.
Yeah. Not good, is it? It's not good, is it?
Well, it's a very difficult shot. I mean, potting the ball with side spin's tough. Missed that, didn't hit the right jaw, but it is such a difficult shot. It's a judgment shot. I'm giving John a 2.
Well, I didn't think it was particularly close, John, but I've not had a go myself yet, but 3.
Well, John, I'm sorry, you missed the pink. You hit the wrong jaw. You got everything wrong. I'm going to give you a very generous -1.
Well, I totally agree with everything that Ken said, but the score, I mean, -1. I'm going to give him 3 because, you know, it's a tough.
I did hit the jaw.
Yes.
Like the idea,
That's tough.
I'd be interested to hear what they've got to say about this one, Mr. Foltz.
The idea was good. You were closer to that than it looked. It looked like you were miles away, but you weren't.
Well, thank you.
5.
Well, I just think you potted the pink and played safe just to make sure that the white was in a good position. So I'm going to give you a 3.
A tree? What a real tree!
A real 3.
Well, I'm going to give you one more than a 3. I'm going to give the 6-times former world champion 4. But that shot that Stephen Hendry pulled off, one of the best positional shots I've ever seen.
Right. And I'm only going to give him 3 because I thought it was a dismal attempt. I could have done that. You need a bit of side on.
Wow.
And I won't be trying it again, I don't think, after that.
Okay.
Well, I don't know where to start there, but I really don't. But I'm going to give him another 3.
I'm going to go the same. I'm going to give him 3. But he did put a quick one in there, and he missed the pocket.
Apart from that,
Wasn't your best cueing that one. Yeah.
3, nothing more to add.
At the risk of upsetting a friend over many years, it's a 1. I mean, there wasn't one part about that was redeeming.
I think it's a fair cop. It was a terrible effort.
Well, it's from the horse's mouth.
Oh!
How about that? Well done, Ken. Brilliant.
Whoa.
Don't all clap at once, thank you. Don't all clap at once. Don't all clap at once, thank you.
Well, look, I'm absolutely speechless. What a shot that was. The darling of Dublin is going to get the first 10 in this competition. That was brilliant.
I wouldn't mind. I'm letting him use my cue. Oh, sorry. 10. Well done, Ken.
It would be a 10. It was half a point for actually hitting it harder than Stephen Hendry did, a lot harder. And the other half a point for actually being quite cruel to other people with this shot and the scores you were given. So it's a 9.
I'm the same. You've been spiteful.
Yes,
Okay. Thank you. Well,
Good shot,
that's
though.
fair.
Great effort.
being spiteful.
Oh! Wow, that was unlucky. Unlucky.
Well, he potted the pink. I have to say, he potted the pink. But apart from that, what else did he do? 4.
It's a cruel game, Dennis, between success and failure. It was a superb shot. You were possibly that far out but you know how far that out can be. So therefore, in the middle, a 5.
You were very close, 5. Ultimately, it was a foul shot. But I'll give you 5 anyway.
Yes.
Well, I thought it was a very good effort, I must say.
Oh, you're going to give me...
I thought it was an excellent shot. You potted the pink, and you were a little bit unlucky. You got very close, so I'm going to give you 2 trees. It's a 6. It's a 6.
A remarkable performance from Ken with his 3rd consecutive top score. Very disappointing from JV and Neil though. So that round sees Ken fly ahead. He's now 12 in front of Dennis. Poor Neil lagging 33 points behind.
All week we've had our experts testing their expertise by trying to recreate some of snooker's classic shots from the past. At the moment, Ken Doherty has gone straight into the lead with the last shot, putting Steve in the middle, and unfortunately Neil's still down in bottom position. This next shot, which is Selby's Sizzler, is going to be a cracker for all of them.
Ooh.
Oh, hold on.
Nearly.
Where's the brown ball going?
Mr. Davis, you've got a puzzled look on your face.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get my head around the difficulty of this, and I think the most important thing is you committed by hitting it firm enough, but of course you'd misjudged the line you came off the cushion. So overall, I'm probably being a bit cruel, but I think a 3.
It's all right, Steve. You've always been cool.
It wasn't one of your best, I don't think, to be honest,
No.
John. 3.
Thanks, Neil.
All right.
Well, once upon a time. No, John, considering the difficulty of this shot, and we all know you have a sore neck, I'm going to give you a minus. No, not again. No, it's going to be a 4.
Okay, I'll take that. You know, obviously didn't pot the brown, you know. I'm not really that bothered what Dennis... What Dennis? Come on, Dennis, because Dennis will root for me in the long run.
I'm going to go with a 3 for JV. But let me give a positive. You nearly double kissed it into this corner pocket and you would have been on the blue, but that's not what we were trying.
That wasn't far off, lads, was it? Not bad for a first effort.
8, Steve. Well done.
Thank you.
Very well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, I thought it was a great effort. Cue ball almost up with it, and through gritted teeth, I'm going to give you an 8 as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ken. That's not divisible by 3 at all.
And 8 also from me, because if it had been as fast as the table that Mark played on, I think you'd have been absolutely spot on.
Thank
Well
you,
done.
Dennis. Thank you.
Well, I'm only going to give him 5. No, 5, that's it. I'm not going any further. Potted the brown.
Hold on.
If it goes in the middle, I'll give him an extra.
Can I have another go?
Well, there's not much really to say about that, in all fairness. So I'll just give you a 4.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I have to agree with Ken with the cue power that Neil has. That was very, very poor, Neil. But I'll still give you a 4 because I like you.
Thanks, Dennis.
I must say, with the cue power that Neil had, he could probably have potted that direct and screwed back.
Oh, thanks, John.
And he'd done a lot better than he did with that one. I'm only going to say 3.
Well, John's become very, very conservative in this round, but I think Neil's basically suffering from a lack of confidence as this tournament's progressed. So I'm going to give you a 4 with just a little bit of encouragement.
Thank you, Steve, because you got the shot. You know, you're entitled to say that.
Oh, it's popping the brown. Because he's such a nice lad, Ken, I'm going to give him 4, but it was a terrible effort. I mean, he nearly potted the brown into the pocket that he cannoned the pink. That wasn't... After scoring 10 in the previous shot, he's lucky to get 4.
Well, it breaks my heart to do this, but he did hit the brown, which is why I'm going to give him 1.
Well, Ken, I'm going to give you 4 for taking the time and trouble to turn up on your day off.
Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you. It is a bit of a chore, to be honest.
The fact that you missed it and stuck the brown, that's it. 3.
Well,
Sorry, Ken.
that's all I'd expect from you.
Well, double kiss, yeah, double kiss. Take it into consideration, boys.
Well, I do remember when we first looked at this, Steve said, well, it was a very risky shot to play, and we can see why. So I'm only going to give you 3 for that, Dennis. At least you hit the brown. Apart from that, there's not a lot else to say.
This is a pure judgment shot. You're judging it off the cushion, and it's a difficult one to get right, and I think really it's a 4. You can't give more than a 4 for a mistake. It's just impossible.
Well, the double kiss was on, Dennis, and you did an half double kiss. Big one, 3.
Well, I totally agree with Steve. You can't give any more than a 4, but you can certainly give less than a 4. And I'm going to give him a big 2. That's all he does.
Big 2.
It's a tough school, this.
It's getting bitchy.
The old dreaded double kiss kills me again.
A great effort from the Nugget, especially with everyone else performing so poorly. At the end of the first week, Steve is now the outright leader, just 4 ahead of Ken. Neil and JV need to pull their socks up though in week 2 if they're going to remain in contention.
We're back again this week with our panel of experts. At the moment, our current leader, because they actually give each other points, is Steve Davis, closely followed by Ken Doherty. To be fair, the points are quite close, so it is still all to play for. This next shot is the Hurricane Blue from 82. First up, for what I'm sure will prove to be a very difficult shot, John Virgo.
Thanks, babe.
Oh, unlucky. Oh. Good effort.
Pot shot.
Well, it's a tough shot. I mean, obviously potting the blue's hard enough, but getting that backspin on it is a very difficult shot. Only as a yardstick, I'm going to start off with a 4. I don't know where this... It's a tough one. I do apologise if I'm being a bit
No, it's
miserly.
all right, I don't mind.
A 4.
I think it's difficult to recreate one of the greatest shots ever played, John. It's a good effort, 6.
Thank you, Neil.
Yes, I think I agree with Neil, particularly for artistic impression. I'm going to give you a 6, John.
Well, from Ken, that's unbelievable. Dennis, my friend. My pal Dennis.
I had it done. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to give JV a 5 because you did get it off the side. Pretty good effort with the old neck, John. Well done.
Thank you. Hello.
Oh, no!
Firmly back into the pack.
Yeah.
Honestly, that is probably the worst shot I've ever seen Steve play. Sorry, Steve, 3.
I concur, absolutely. Wasn't one of your best, Dave. I'm very sorry. And the good news is that it brings you back to the rest of the pack in terms of the leaderboard. So I'm going to give you a chestnut 3.
Well, there was one positive about the shot. He really got into it. The screw, he nearly screwed it in the middle pocket, which would have been a great shot. Good cue power, but I'm sorry, Steve. Another 3.
Well, he hit the white. He hit the white. That hit the blue. So that's worth 2.
Fair reflection. Take my punishment, my medicine. very upset.
Do the finger. And cue it, Neil. Cue it.
Oh,
That's unlucky. That's unlucky.
Ken.
Well, as far as artistic impression goes, you're getting a 0, but particularly the exercise of the shot and execution of the shot, I'm going to give you a 6. I think it was a really good effort.
Coming from you, that's a good mark. Thank you.
I was waiting for that white to fizz. There was no fizz
Still
there.
might. It's not finished.
I'm going to give you a 6 though for lack of fizz.
So I'm not going to be that harsh, but I'll only give it a 6 anyway. But good pot and nice reaction
Thanks,
from
John.
the white.
I think to pot the ball, it wasn't the power shot because obviously you haven't had the practice recently.
Yeah.
So I think it's an 8. I think it's a big score.
Thanks very much. That's my best effort. How good was the shot in the first place? That's the best I can do.
No, I like the little flick. Yeah, the little flick of the head. I wish I could do that nowadays. He's about the same height as Alex, isn't he?
Oh, that's pretty poor.
Did you see the leg go up?
Yeah.
You're not getting many for the leg.
Ooh!
Sorry, John. Sorry.
No, that's artistic impression. He gets another point for that.
Oh, that was a poor effort from Ken. The only good thing about that shot was he threw his leg up at the back the way Alex did. Ken, I'm only going to give you 3 for that.
Another 3, okay.
Well, I'm not going to be as harsh, but not a lot went right with it, so I think it's only worth 4.
I'd agree with John. The pot was missed, but he did get the right line for the white, albeit a little less power. So I think in that respect, he was on the red to some degree. But the pot's important as well, because you can get anywhere without potting the ball. A 4.
I reckon the similarity between you and Alex ended the minute you hit the ball. Sorry, mate. 4.
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
Go on, Blue.
Got
Get
the
in
score
there,
on it.
babe.
The reaction from the cue ball off the blue with the side was impressive, but the fact that the blue went nowhere near the pocket was less impressive, so I'm just going to go down the middle of the road with a 5.
A slight contradiction from previous judgments. Whilst the blue was missed by a long way, what we were looking for was the amount of action on the cue ball, and that replicated the type of shot that Alex played. So I think it's a 6. A lot of action on the cue ball.
I would agree. We call it scrunge. Putting a scrunge on the ball. No, shame about the pot. 5.
5 for all that scrunch.
Yeah.
There was a lot of scrunge, it has to be said. There was a bit of grunge as well at that time. But I would say, yes, there was quite a lot of action on the cue ball. You are one of the best screwers in the business, and I will give you a 5 for that, Dennis.
After finishing the first week so poorly, Neil needed to win a round. His 26 points there means that he's narrowed the gap. Although still last, he's now only 19 points behind first, which is a joint tie between the Nugget and Crafty Ken.
We're back again with our panel of experts, all testing their expertise to try and recreate the snooker classic shots from years gone by. They're scoring each other, which gives us a leaderboard. And at this point, I have to say we have a tie. We've got Steve and Ken both tying at the top, and at the bottom things are also very tight, so it's still all to play for. This next shot is Parrot's Perler. First up to attempt this difficult shot is our 1979 UK champion, Mr. John Burgo.
Oh, swerved it too
Unlucky,
much.
unlucky.
Swerved it too much.
Well, I think John was brave enough to give it, to commit, to swerving across the face of the red, which was what you had to do to pot it. So I think it's a 6.
Thank you, Steve. Yeah.
At least you hit it. 5.
Yeah. Unusually for me, I'm going to be very generous, but it's a 7.
Thank you, Ken. Yeah. Dennis, my best pal.
Middle of the road, JV. You just got too much swerve on it.
That's been my problem all my life.
5 for Jeremy.
went for control.
Not great, but you hit more of it than JV. 6.
Don't know where to start, to be honest, but I will. The middle of the road. It was a good swerve, too much. Actually, over swerved it, so I'm going to give you a 5.
Gotta go the same as I did for JV. Over swerved it. 5 for the nugget.
Well, Steve gave me 6, and I thought my effort was better than that. But anyway, I'm going to give you 6. You gave it me, I'll give it Steve.
Just a bit softer.
When he hit
The
it,
swerve would have taken.
You know.
Well, that was a very good effort, I must say. As much as it pains me to say that after the scoring you've been giving me all day. But I will be generous, and I think it was a good shot. Number 8.
You're a good man, Ken. I always said that about you.
Yeah, I'm going to give Neil 7 for that effort. That was played the same pace that John Parrot played it at. The only thing different was the red didn't go in. Nearly did. Good effort, Neil.
Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't see it like that. I thought the idea was to swerve around the green, so you nearly potted the red. He hit it on the wrong side. Apart from that, I'm only going to give it 5. Sorry, Neil.
Well, strangely enough, I'm in total agreement with John Parrot, because the only way you can possibly
John Parrot. My name's John Virgo, by the way. John Virgo. All right, Steve. You can call me what you like. I don't mind.
Let's do that again.
You know.
No. Wait a minute, don't worry. Well, I've got to say, also, I'm in agreement with John Virgo, because the only way you can pot that is to commit by going across the face of the red. Anybody can hit the red as a professional, so I'm going to mark him down. I'm going to make it a 4.
Your best chance is they have to do it again.
Well,
Foul and a miss.
what have you got in there?
I don't think Ken will ever want to see that shot again in his life. I mean, he never even hit the red. I hate doing this, Ken, but...
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Well, I didn't know what to put down, so I presume that's a 0.
I'm looking through here. I can't find a number I want. I'm torn between the 0 with a plus and the -1. I mean, I think you probably appreciate the 0 with a plus for missing the red. It's a schoolboy error.
It's a schoolboy
error.
It was careless. It was careless.
It was careless.
He had his butt in the air a bit high there, didn't he?
I'm just going to write it in case any confusion. 1. Okay?
it's
Not
been
10, 1.
Generous.
Unlucky, Ken.
I was never a great swerver in all fairness. I didn't have the height for it.
Yeah. I've seen you at the bars a few times. You were swerving.
I tried the in off.
Oh my goodness.
I don't like JV's reaction here.
Well, what can one say about that? He's supposed to swerve it and try and hit the red fullish to try and pot it. Steve and I swerved too much. Did he play a swerve? It's only worth 2 to me.
You hit the red, Dennis, and you also played it at the correct pace. But apart from that, the line was wrong. So at this level, a 2. I'm sorry.
You gave me a very generous mark, Dennis, for that. 3. That's as generous as I can go, sorry.
And you gave me a very generous mark as well, so the best I could do with that. It was a little duck for you, Dennis.
I should have played to Mrs. McCall. I got more points.
A distinctly average, if not poor, display from all the boys. Clearly they're no match for JP in the swerve department. And what about Ken? Just 2 points. Neil wins his 2nd consecutive round and is now in 3rd. Ken has dropped from 1st to worst, and Steve is still our outright leader.
Well, to the only man in the world who can pull that shot off. What did you make of their attempt,
I mean,
John?
how bad was that? Honestly, Dennis Taylor's the only man I know who, in the trick shot thing, played safe. He played a safety shot. Ken said he couldn't reach because he was never tall enough. He'd have to buy him an orange crate to stand on.
I tell you, I don't know what I'm more embarrassed about. Actually, over-swearing or just listen to my laugh over again. I'm going to have a word with the editor and double the negative or whatever you call it.
Oh, your
Sound
laugh is
engineer.
becoming famous or infamous. But
It wasn't a great. There wasn't great attempts there, was there?
Dennis has always been a good swearer, particularly at the bar.
We're back again with our team of experts, and the news is that yesterday's leader has now plummeted to bottom position. Mr. Doherty, down, down, down. All to play for though, and the next shot is Hendry's Heller.
Very straight, can't do out with it. If Stephen had missed it like that, it'd have been fine.
To give John his credit, John knows so much about the game and he knows that the nap of the cloth can bring the cue ball back into the black. John deliberately aimed thin, but of course, what you forgot was these cloths have got no nap. So there it stayed exactly where it was. I'm giving John a 3 for not realising that.
Thanks.
I'm going to give you a good mark. There's some genius about that shot to actually refuse it and play the safety. I mean, Stephen had to play that 7 for me.
Thank
Genius.
you. Stephen, you should have tried that.
Well, I have to say it was a paltry effort, and I'm going to reward you accordingly with a 2.5.
2.5.
Not funny. It's not funny. 2.5. Dennis, my best buddy on the circuit. We've been all around the world together.
JV. If you had hit it a little bit harder, you would have potted it in the corner pocket. That was the only good thing about it. Ken Doherty 3.
Oh, good effort.
You wouldn't blame it all on me now, would you?
I'm not too sure these winter gardens are level.
Absolutely.
I'm starting to think it rolls a little bit from left to right, Steve, to be fair, so I'll give you 4 for effort. Drift.
There's an advantage to being last in this.
I think so. What is your mark, Ken?
It's
Is it
a
a 3?
really bad 3.
It's a
It was a poor effort, to say the least.
Well, 6 times former world champion, usually very reliable on a final black. Never misses a final black. But he missed that one, but I'll still give him 4.
I was the first to go, and obviously you can see now that the ball is drifting on this winter garden paving. So I can only give you 3, Steve,
No, I
but
agree.
you had the same problem that I had. But I only got 2.5 off Ken.
Well, he'll realise how far it is drifting.
Yeah, well now it's easy, isn't it?
Unless they allow too much.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're looking at the drifters.
Saturday night at the movies. Who cares what picture we see?
I want to hug him with my baby in the back of the
Balcony.
Always give it enough pace.
Oh, he didn't believe.
Boomerang.
Unbelievable.
No
I was first to go.
No excuses.
I was first to go.
I allowed for it as well.
Yeah.
Half a ball.
Well, allowing for the drift, half a ball, as he said. It really, it was as close as we've come, but it's still only a 4. About right.
I'm afraid because you didn't get the drift, Neil. 4 from me as well.
Point. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give you 4, Neil, but really, you knew about the drift.
Didn't know it was that much.
Well, it is a lot.
Massive drift.
I'd just like to say to Dennis, don't ever be afraid. A 4.
Remember the drift.
You can't.
He didn't believe.
He didn't believe it was the drift. He didn't believe it was the drift.
Well, everybody thought this was an easy pot that Stephen Hendry missed all those years ago. Nobody's got it yet. Ken didn't get the drift either. Has to be 4.
Well, if Ken had been the first to go, I'd have give 4, 5. He's been the four to go. And we've told him about the drift, so I'm only going to give him one. He knows about the drift.
In full agreement. You know, you can't give him a 4. It's got to be a 3. You've got to drop down, and the same for the next guy who's playing. Pressure's on you, then.
Yep. 3 again. You should have learnt from our mistakes.
I know.
From the error of our ways.
Schoolboy error, it was.
Oh, he got it as well. Wow, fantastic.
I think this is going to be a good number, Dennis.
Well, maybe.
What have we got, John?
Well, I might surprise you here because we saw Stephen Hendry do that. Hit the top jaw, went back, and Mark Williams potted the black. I thought the art was just to miss the black. I'm only going to give him 1.
Well, that's harsh. I mean, that's Arlene Phillips of the snooker world. I mean, well, I can't go with that, John. It's unfair. I mean, Dennis did what we had to do. He had to better Stephen Hendry in that bit. That's how I feel. That's how I felt it. It didn't go in cleanly. It did it the knuckle. So I think it's a 9. It's nearly a 10. It's a 9.
I'm not with JV either. Got to give you an 8. Didn't go in cleanly, and you went last an advantage, but well done. Good shot.
Well, I thought JB was very, very harsh there. I mean, that was extremely critical. Giving him a 1, that's a disgrace. I'm going to give you a 2.
Oh, Dennis.
No, I agree.
Have you two boys, do you know what the exercise was here?
We were supposed to repeat the shot.
No, we were supposed to pot it.
Yeah, I agree with Dennis.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You can change your
I could go now again, obviously. I know where the drift is.
I'll tell you what, you're going to lose so many fans at home, JV, with that score. 1.
Who would have thought it? Only Dennis was capable of potting that famous black. Another poor display from Ken as he collects his 3rd wooden spoon. Steve is now 23 points ahead of last place.
Welcome back. We've got our esteemed panel here again trying to test their expertise by recreating some snooker classic shots from years gone by. They're scoring each other, which has proved quite contentious, to be fair. We do have a leaderboard, which is currently headed up by Steve Davis. Still all to play for, though. Plenty of points left. Our next shot is Hens Calamity.
This was for a maximum break. And you imagine the pressure. It didn't show, but you know, you can imagine the cue moving about. And all you got to do is put a little tracer left-hand side on and hit it too hard, and you miss it. That's what happened.
Wasn't as bad as that.
The fact that you nearly doubled that in the corner pocket meant that it was a poor effort in many ways. Now, I know there's another shot to go, and I could be strangling myself tactically here, but I feel it's a 1.
Simple 1 to Mark. If Kevin would have potted that black into a car, I'm going to draw a picture of the car for you and give you a mark of, I don't know, 2.
I don't know.
Difficult 1 to Mark.
2.
A picture of the car, though.
Well, actually, John, to be fair, I thought you replicated that shot quite well, particularly the shaking at the back arm. So I'm going to give you Big Fat Lady, number 8.
Thank you, Ken.
You hit it too hard, JV.
I think that's what happened with Ken, though. Don't you think he
hit it that hard? Well, I'll give you. I won't be as bad as the 2 up the other end. I can't believe.
I mean, they haven't got a sense of humour.
Well, mind you, had a great sense of humour whenever I potted the black in the middle pocket, and you give me 1 point, but I'll give you 4. That's the type of guy I am.
What sort of a competition is this? Oh, I hope it goes in.
Hold it, there you go. Gets in.
I think he tried to pot it. I'm going to give him 1. I think it was a bad shot.
I'm with Neil all the way. I think he tried to pot that, and he doesn't like blacks. He just doesn't like blacks off the spot either. 1.
Well, I don't think that's fair. I think it was a pretty good effort, and you know, it was a little bit of artistic impression went into that. So I'm going to be a bit more generous, not too much more. So I'm going to give him a 1 as well.
Well, I am of the opinion, when I was arguing my case before, when Steve gave me one, that we're trying to emulate what happened. And I thought that was a perfect replication of Ken's Miss Black. But, having thought about it, I'm going to give him one as well. For being perfect.
That one.
Oh, yes.
It's in. Nice.
I meant that one.
Oh, okay.
You played it too soft, Ken. Every pocket a chance you should have given.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, I like Neil's way of thinking, you know, playing hard. It's for a maximum break and a lovely... and hit it hard enough that you might fluke it in the middle.
Yeah.
Don't like that way of thinking. You're only getting 4 for that.
Oh, that's a good roll. That's what Jamie
No,
got
I'd have to
together.
agree with Dennis. It was a good effort, though. It nearly went into this middle, although you
Yeah.
pointed to that
Yeah.
middle. So, for effort alone, I'm going to be very generous and give you a 2.
That's good. You're a good man, Ken. Nice
I
work.
just like the presentation of it, but not that much.
I think the line that Neil actually hit the ball on was perfect, but the fact that you've basically turned the tournament into a farce has gone against you. And all of a sudden we wonder what we are doing here, but I'm still going to give you a 4 for the line.
Thank you.
I was sitting in the commentary box and I thought Ken is going to win an £80,000 sports car, but I thought you should have went back to the table and wiped. You came round, and I thought you should have given yourself a bit more time. And I also thought you should have put your hand on the table. And I also thought you shouldn't have stunned it. You should have rolled it in. But
So in other words, he shouldn't have gone back to his tail wipe his cue. He should have come to the commentary box and actually said he was going to play next. Dear me.
What a... Oh, well,
I'll tell you
that was a
what.
good effort.
I'll tell you what.
Well, that was a very good effort on the black, I must say, and it actually was very close to the way I played it. But because of all that, I thought you should have done this and I thought you should have done that. I wasn't impressed with that whatsoever. So I'm going to give you another little 3.
I must admit the explanation was getting on my nerves, but he did bridge from off the cushion, so I'll give him 5 for observation.
I think, yeah, for me, for being a smart arse, 4.
I thought you went on a little bit, but it was very well presented, and I thought it was very nice work. 5.
John was right, my hand was probably shaking like that at the time.
Queuing off the bridge.
see, I think there's too much cue out there.
And it went something like this.
Yes!
Well played.
Go and get the car.
Yes.
Marvellous. Well, if it had potted at the time, I'd have given him the score. I've waited a long time to do it, but I'm going to give him a 10. The maximum.
Well, just to set the record straight, obviously, as we were getting closer to the finishing line, we want the last shot to be very close as well. And quickly summing things up, I think I'm going to give Ken a 1 for an excellent one shot.
I think maybe the expression "after the horse has bolted" comes to mind, mate.
Absolutely.
Bad luck. 5, halfway there.
Halfway for me as well, because I think you tried to miss that, Ken. You cued that so badly that you potted it.
That was a shocker for the Nugget, scoring a measly 4 points. Dennis's 17 points now sees him take a share of the overall lead with Steve. Incredibly, just 7 points separate our 5 competitors.
Welcome to the last of our shows, where we have had our experts testing their ability at trying to recreate some classic shots from years gone by. They've been scoring each other, tactics has come into play, so it's still all to play for. This final shot is Davis's overcut.
No. Let's see what we can do. Well, at least it'd have gone safe.
I would have hoped that John could have got a bit closer, and he also had it very thick, which is something that you don't want to do in a situation like that. It's a 4.
But you hit it thin and left it on. But when it's finished.
It cost me more than 6 points, though.
Given that you said you couldn't work out how thin it was, I can't believe how thick you hit it. But you did at least make it look a difficult shot. So, 5.
Thank you,
Good
Neil.
effort.
Yeah, I have to agree with Neil. I think you did make it look even more difficult than it probably was. But you did get to play the safety in mind, and that's always key. So I'm going to give you a 6.
Thank you, Ken. Dennis, long-term pal and
One of my best buddies, but
we've
that
been
was
around the world together.
yeah, that was abysmal. Though that was so thick. You tried to play that as a shot to nothing. On the black ball in the final of a World Championship, you can't throw a shot to nothing in, John. You got to go for the cut. Too thick. You're only getting 4. Sorry, JB.
Okay. Anyone remember those doubles Dennis was playing?
I think, as you said, JV, this is close to enough in this pocket, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I
That's the
thought
problem.
that, you know, but Steve never thought about the enough. He thought about not hitting it too thick. Well,
Oh,
and this is what would have happened if it had potted the ball. Where's the cue ball going?
It shows you. The shot was on to going off.
All right, okay.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to be overcritical because it's not my type of form, really. I'm going to give you one of my favourite numbers. 3.
Michaela, it's not my favourite number as well. 3, because that was a good pot, Neil, even though you tried to miss
I
it.
know, I tried to pot it. I
did you?
wanted to just say I could pot the shot that Steve missed.
I'll stick with 3.
Well, we all remember that what an exciting finish it was. But imagine if Steve had a potted the black and that cue ball would have rattled the jaws, it would have gone down in history as the most exciting moment ever. So, I'm going to give it 4.
I'm going to give it a 10 because I didn't pot it and Neil did. It's a 10 for me.
And I think also that was insightful that the enough was on.
It might be insightful, but it's spiteful that you've mentioned it.
Okay, well, I'm trying to do a Steve Davis impression.
Give it one of those, Ken. Ken, give it a flick under the nose. There we go.
Steve at all.
No, it's terrible, wasn't it? Looks more like a ready parrot face, David. That's what happened.
No, what about this?
Bit too hard, but I'll tell you what. Yeah, and one of them. Give one of them. Yeah.
Great effort. He can put the black exactly where Steve did, but he hit it too hard. And I'm only pleased they didn't finish up where they are now because I wouldn't have potted that one. But I'll give the Darling a Dublin 5.
Well, if that had been half a table slower, that would have left us with the exact position that Dennis had to pot it. So halfway there, I'll give it 5.
I'm going to say personally that was spooky. That was like looking in a mirror at myself.
Yes.
So I'm going to give it for artistic impression, the direction of the shot, other than the little speed difference, a 9 for Ken there.
Thank you, Steve.
When you say mirror, that wasn't in the fun house in Blackpool.
Ken, I think the impression of Steve was absolutely woeful and the shot wasn't much better. I'll give you a 5 anyway.
Oh, thank you.
No tactical vote, 5.
It's a tougher shot than it looked all those years ago.
Well, look at your face when you were sat down, Dennis. It looked as though it was all...
Well, I thought I pushed.
Listen, we've all done the same emotion.
I don't know how he overcut it.
Oh, well, that's...
Wow.
And that's what you should have done, Steve.
The black going in spoilt it for me. So I'm just going to give him 1.
Well, I know what you're saying, John. I mean, if we're trying to replicate these great shots, or are we trying to sort of say how they should have been done? It's a fine dividing line.
Yeah.
But me, I'm a little bit of a masochist, and I like being put in my place. The way Dennis put me in my place there, I'm giving Dennis a 10. He potted the black.
I'm going to give you 5, Dennis. Nice pot.
And the fact that you potted the black, which is exactly totally the opposite of what we're trying to achieve here. So, but I'm going to be very, very generous and give you...
Oh, that is generous, Dennis, isn't it?
2 1s from the boys on the end. There's a bit of tactical voting
No, it's not
going on.
tactical. It's not tactical.
I can't do it.
The pressure's up. Oh no! Again! Well, I thought he'd give us a treat and potted it. And I thought he tried to pot it. Terrible shot. I'm just giving it 5.
Well, Steve's been consistently one of the greatest players for so many years, and again, you were consistent all these years later on that shot. You overcut it again, 10 for consistency, if nothing else.
Thank you. If nothing else.
Yeah, well, you missed it again.
Well, there's nothing else. There's nothing else.
Well, I do. I'm sorry, but I do have to agree. Apart from you overcut it. You left it in the jaws where you left it all those years ago.
Yeah, but he couldn't
And I'm going to give you a 10 as well. Well done, Steve.
Thank you, thank you.
Is it well done? Well, I'm pleased you didn't leave it there because all those years ago I would have missed that one. But yeah, just a little bit harder and he would have had it right. So I'm going to give this 6 times former world champion a big 7. Wow. I think he deserves to win this.
What a great display from the 6-time world champion. His top score of the competition must surely have won him yet another title. Yes, and there it is, confirmation that Steve Davis adds the illustrious 2011 Commentator's Classic Shots title to his honour roll.
You know, there's something rather perverse about the fact that Steve's worst moment in the game has led to his best moment as a pundit. He's won the league. Congratulations, Stevie.
Thank
it was
you.
a bit cruel to make you reenact that, wasn't it?
Well, it was just the way it was, but I think we had so much fun doing that. It seemed a long time ago now. It was the day before the start of the tournament, but it was so much fun. We had just tears rolling down our eyes.
Well, let's just see how the 2 shots compared, 85 to 2011, because there's a real difference in this one. Here we go. Right, talk us through it, Steve.
Well, obviously Dennis looks a little more relaxed there. Yeah, as you can see, the ball's in exactly the same position. I quit a bit on the shot on the left there, but I went for it full-blooded, obviously in my prime, but nowhere near it. But I think the left hand to the temple really won it for me.
I think it did.
I knew what hand went up to the temple. I think that's where Ken went wrong there, but...
For sheer guts.
Oh, thank you very much.
In reliving that awful moment, we'd like to present this to you. Congratulations, Steve. You are the pundits champion.
Thank you very much.
And you can lord
Pleasure.
that one over Dennis for the next 25 years if you
I should go
can.
straight in Dennis's face.
Very harsh. Very harsh to make my mate play that shot. I'd have backed you up there.
Thank you.
I'd have backed you up. You'll have a piece of cake though.